The beginning. In a distant coastal town, battered day and night by roaring waves, stood a mysterious house perched precariously on the edge of a cliff. Nobody knew exactly who built it. For years, villagers would look up at the house from the shoreline and wonder, why would anyone build a house in such a dangerous place? Storms came and went. The waves struck violently against the cliff, shaking the foundations. Yet strangely, year after year, the house still stood silent, unwavering, like a guardian of the sea. The young traveler. One day, a young man named Adrian arrived at the village. He had lost almost everything: his family, his wealth, and even his faith in himself. He came in search of meaning, but all he carried was emptiness. The villagers told him about the house. Curious, Adrian climbed the winding path up to the cliff. The door creaked open, as if it had been waiting for him. Inside, he found an old man sitting by a dim lantern, staring at the ocean below. Without turning his head, the old man said, "You've come, haven't you? Sit." Adrian was startled. He hadn't said a word, yet it felt like the old man could see through his soul. The first lesson: fear. The old man asked, "Why do you think this house hasn't collapsed, despite the endless storms?" Adrian thought for a while. "Because it's strong. The foundation must be unshakable." The old man shook his head. "No foundation is unshakable. The truth is, this house still stands because it embraces the storm. It bends, it shakes, it creaks, but it never resists to the point of breaking. People fear storms and hide from them. But fear only multiplies the storm inside. To overcome fear, you must step into it and let it teach you." Adrian fell silent. For the first time, he realized he had spent years running away from fear, never learning from it. The second lesson: desire. The old man led Adrian to a cracked window. From there, they could see the vast sea, sometimes calm, sometimes violent. "Look," the old man said, "the ocean is like human desire. Endless, hungry, ever-changing. Most people drown in it, chasing one wave after another. But those who succeed are not the ones who destroy desire. They are the ones who learn to ride it." Adrian asked, trembling, "But what if the wave is too big?" The old man's eyes gleamed. "Then you dive beneath it. Remember, you cannot defeat desire, but you can understand its rhythm. Once you understand, it will carry you forward instead of dragging you down." Adrian clenched his fists. Deep down, he knew this was exactly what he had failed at, always chasing more, never satisfied, until his life collapsed. The third lesson: pain. Later that night, the house shook violently. A storm had come. The wind howled, the rain lashed against the walls, and the cliff seemed ready to give way. Adrian panicked, ready to flee. But the old man sat calmly, as if nothing was happening. "Why aren't you afraid?" Adrian shouted. The old man replied softly, "Because pain is not the enemy. Pain is the reminder that we are alive. People run from pain, numb themselves, bury it. But pain carries truth. If you dare to sit with it, it becomes your teacher. This house is full of cracks, yet each crack makes it stronger. And so it is with the human heart." The storm raged on, but something inside Adrian shifted. For the first time, instead of resisting fear and pain, he simply let them exist. And strangely, they lost their power over him. The departure. At dawn, the storm passed. The sea sparkled as if nothing had happened. Adrian turned to thank the old man, but the chair by the lantern was empty. The house was silent. Had it all been real, or just a vision? He didn't know. But as he walked down the cliff, he realized something profound. The house was not just a building, it was a mirror of the human soul. We all stand on a cliff, fragile yet enduring. We all face storms, fear, desire, pain that threaten to break us. But if we learn not to resist, but to understand, we too can remain standing, just like the house. From that day, Adrian began a new life. He no longer feared storms. Instead, he welcomed them as companions, knowing each wave carried a lesson, and each crack in his heart could let the light in. The philosophy of the house on the cliff. The villagers say that sometimes, when the storms roll in, they see a figure standing by the window of the house, staring out at the sea. Some believe it's the old man. Others believe it's Adrian. But the wisest among them smile and say, "No, it's you." Because each of us carries that house within. And whether it crumbles or endures depends on how we face the storms of life.